In this quick look, we're going to look at generating and using custom models inside of Adobe Firefly. So I'm at firefly.adobe.com and I'm signed in with my Adobe ID. If we look on the side here, down below we have access to custom models. Inside of here, we can get to models that we already have, or we can train models. So to actually train them, of course, you're going to need a repository of materials. And there's a number of different types. There's photography, there's illustration, and characters. I have about 45 photographic images that I'm going to use to create a new photography style. So I'm going to click on that. And it gives you some general guidelines here. So 10 to 30 images, so I have too many, but that's okay. They have to be good images, which my images are scans of 35 millimeter black and white negatives from the 1990s. So they might not be the best, but it'll be okay. And what to avoid: blurred, pixelated, harsh, right? So I'm going to start adding images here. And it tells us drag and drop at least 10 images. So let's go ahead and actually just select about 10 images. I'm not quite sure how many I just grabbed, but I'm going to drag them right in here. Oh, 12. That's perfect. All right. So now it's going to go ahead and upload everything. And after it uploads, it's going to have to inspect all the images. You can see it's analyzing, and this can take a while. I've done this before, and it took quite a bit. You have to be patient with it. All right, there we are. So it tells us a couple of things here, right? It's gone through and added some captions to everything through the AI. And here, for example, it can't do this one for some reason. I've had this happen on other images, of course. And if we want, we can always add images. So like if I click this one here, it's rejected it. It doesn't match the user guidelines, and I have to remove it from the training set, which is easy enough to do. If we look on the side here, we can get examples for the name. So I'm going to call these 1990s photography. And it tells us when it's created. We can go through and, change the description, the sample prompt, and all of that stuff. We have certain tags, and these have been added through the AI, but we can also add tags manually. And here we get our model score. So the model score, this one, it's okay. And we knew it wasn't going to be perfect going in just because of the nature of the content. But it tells us here, right, a number of tricks, or tips rather. And it's nice that it gives little examples as well. So you can do things about that. You can ignore it, whatever. You can also analyze once again. So, and of course, just like before, this is going to take a bit of time. And there we go. We can see the score remains the same, which is just fine. Now, when we are ready, you can see this is a draft right now. So when we're ready, we have to click train, and that will actually produce the model itself. And notice that it costs 500 credits, at least in my case. Let's go ahead and train. And this can take rather long as well. All of this takes some time. So inside of my content here, I'm simply going to, of course, in the video, just jump to when it is finished. If we go back into our model inventory, we can see that it's being trained upon right now. It tells us it's training. We get a little loader. And here's, for instance, one that I did a month ago with some similar images. And that one's ready for use. All right, well, while this one is training, what we're going to do is make use of this one here that's already been trained. So here we can say if we want to generate within Firefly or within Firefly boards, we can share and duplicate and delete. I'm going to say let's just generate in Firefly, and it will select the model. So you can see here custom models show up between your Adobe models, which are commercially safe, and your partner models. And there's not a whole lot of choices here when it comes to custom models just yet. It's placed into here, my default prompt, and it's going to use 20 credits. So let's go ahead and generate. You can see it's generating 2 variations of this prompt. And there we have it. So it's created some pretty basic statues here. But what we can also do is type in something to change the prompt. So I'm going to add in a young woman standing in a graveyard with a cat by her feet. And we can just kind of keep a lot of the rest of this and generate once again. So now instead of using the default prompt that was generated when we train the model, we're adding additional information and guidance to our custom model to generate additional content. Notice as well that it's creating 1-to-1 square ratio images. You don't really have the capability of doing a 16:9 yet or anything like that. And these are pretty good. So it's definitely in the style of the photographic images that I fed the model. Looks very much like my photography from the late 90s. And it's added additional things. Now, I don't have a cat in any of the images, and it's generated the model as well. So pretty good. Let's check up on this model here. No, it's still training. All right, so that's basically it. That's a quick look at how to generate and use custom models inside of Adobe Firefly.